Tell me when. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us with Naked City podcast with Pat Omada. We welcome you on this Memorial Day. It's a solemn day. It's a day to remember the fallen, and we have so much to be grateful for, especially to them on this day of remembrance. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the freedoms we enjoy and the guarantees that we have as Americans, that we can speak freely and we can debate, we can disagree, and it's okay. We have democracy and we have liberty and freedom, and that's a blessing. But it doesn't come free. It Many soldiers in the military paid a big price, paid the ultimate price with their life. Some very young men that will never have families. Uh, they left families behind to grieve. So to them, we're indebted. And with that, I want to start a little prayer. God, we come to you in prayer in remembrance of the fallen who paid the ultimate price to give us the freedoms we enjoy today. We ask for your embrace of the fallen. May we never forget they paid the ultimate price. May we value their sacrifice and honor them by upholding their patriotism for our flag, for our country, for the righteousness of our country's cause for liberty. We thank the fallen and ask that you let them know the beacon on the hill shines because of them. Give us guidance, courage, strength to continue to uphold the sacrifices they made for our country and for us to be free. In Jesus' name, we ask for forgiveness of our sins and for mercy when we fall short. Amen. I want to remind you that tomorrow's election day is a very important day. I was not going to do the podcast tonight because there's a lot of things going on, but uh, remembering that tomorrow is election day, I said I got to do it. If nothing else, to remind people to go out and vote. So I've seen elections tie, and I've seen elections won with less than 50 votes. So your vote matters, and that is your voice. Uh, we may not agree sometimes, but it's important that you go voice your vote and let it be known what you want in your elected officials. So tomorrow, go out and vote if you haven't voted early, and remind your family and friends to go vote also. Um, there are state races going on for lieutenant governor, attorney general, and state rep district 37. There's local races for Judge 107th between Chuy Garcia and Noe Garza. I make no bones about it. I support Noe Garza. I think he has a temperament. I think he has experience, and I think he will make a good judge and maybe eventually a federal judge. Uh, I think um, I think he will be fair, and I think he will be impartial. And I don't think Chuy is. I've seen him at work, and he's not impartial at all. So that's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Like I said, we can agree to disagree. You may want to vote for him. You have that right. But my support is for Noe. And I know people like myself who are in politics. Sometimes it's not good to say who you support and be wishy-washy about it and make people think one way or the other and not really say anything. But I'm not that way. With me, you get it straight. And sometimes people don't like it, and that's okay. And if you lose a friend along the way, well, they never were friends. So, we have the right to agree to disagree. I'm not going to tell you that if you vote for a certain person, I'm not going to talk to you anymore or whatever. Uh, you're entitled to do that. The heated race to watch is going to be for county judge, um, Steve Guerra and Eddie Trevino. Eddie's been there a while. I've known him. We've been on opposite ends. There's some things I don't like about Eddie, but overall, I think I'll have to go with Eddie on this one here. Eddie has the experience. He has a working commission that I think uh, is healthy. Uh, they debate the issues, and again, we may not agree on everything. There's some things that I was against totally, but overall, you can't be a single uh, issue person in your voting. You got to look at the overall, and I think Eddie will do a better job than Steve Guerra. Steve, there's too many questions of doubt for me. He has no job that I can really uh, find, and I don't think he has the temperament or the experience, and I don't think he has the ethics either. So, but that's debatable. You can decide for yourself. The important thing is for you to go vote. It's going to be a very interesting night. I think it's going to be a close race. So it's important that every vote goes in and it's counted. So I'm hoping that you will participate and get your friends and family to do the same thing. Then we're going to have the another interesting race for me, the TSC election. That'll be early voting will start on June 1st through the 9th, and the election day will be June 13th. That will be a runoff between JJ De Leon and Adela Garza. Um, I know both of them. I like JJ. I think he's a nice young man. I've supported him in the past, but on this one, I'm going to have to go with Adela. And the reason being, I'm going to tell you my reason, uh, because there is a lot at stake. Adela was one of the original members that had the courage to take TSC back from UT. We had lost our junior college to UT, and it was just a shell of a college, and they were using our college as a tax base for many things that benefited the university at our expense. And I thought I never supported that, and I thought that was unfair. And Adela was there at the forefront with Kiko Rendon, Trey Garza, Trey Mendez, and others who fought hard to take back our junior college and restore the mission of the junior college in the city of Brownsville. And that means a lot to me. She's got the experience. There's some things, again, it's okay to disagree. And you can still stay friends, and you can let them know, and say, hey, I wish otherwise, and this is why. Um, and but they're the ones responsible, and they're the ones that make the decisions. That's what we elect them for. Um, the junior college is now, I think, doing very, very well. It has opened up many opportunities for our young people. They're in high school with dual enrollment, which can save them up to 2 years of college by participating in the program, and that saves the parents a lot of money, and that saves them a lot of also student debt. They've also brought back industrial trade programs, which was sorely needed. Not everybody's uh, wants a formal education. Not everybody wants to be a doctor and a lawyer or an architect or an engineer or a geologist or whatever. There's some people that are good with their hands, and some people who have talent in many other areas in a trade, which is just as good as a 4-year degree. I mean, you need a welder. They can make good living, and it takes special talent to be a welder, a good welder, or a plumber or electrician or whatever. So I'm glad that the junior college was restored to the city, and that it offers opportunities for people that want to go into some type of other profession other than a formal uh, profession like an attorney or doctor or whatever, and they can take a pipe fitting or welding or other type. They also have programs in allied health, and and this opens up opportunities in nursing and sonography and other things like that. So that's something good. I think for the young people to choose as a career, and they have that opportunity now, thanks to Adela Garza and those that were able to rescue our junior college and uh, give these children, not children, young people, the opportunity. I mean, they they have been able to sell bonds and do good things for the community. This year, the, the the junior college is graduating this semester here. 1,000 graduates, man. That's a lot. That really is a lot because it's going to have an impact on the future. And more jobs are being created here with um, uh, SpaceX and LNG, and now that we're looking uh, for the refinery, and those opportunities need to be filled by our local citizens, and if you want something like that, I think we need to support the junior college because they're going to prepare our young people to fill those jobs. Um, so, uh, I encourage you to go vote in that election. Don't dismiss it like it doesn't matter. It does matter. It's a very important election. Whether you vote for JJ De Leon or Adela Garza, the important thing is to vote. And again, I repeat myself that the vote for me is going to be for Adela because of that. Um, there's many things coming up. If and I've talked to people that have heard the podcast. We're just getting started, and we're going to build on it. Uh, I've seen up to 1,000 viewers on it and stuff like that. And that may not be big numbers, but we're just starting. As the word gets around, I had a friend of mine call me. He says, "Hey, I saw your podcast. It was real good." That was on the overvaluations by the appraisal district, which I'm going to continue to stay on top of that. But word gets around, and hopefully we build an audience here. This is about issues and the truth on what's going on. Uh, we're entitled to opinions, but we'll state them as opinions. Uh, this is about our community. Hopefully, we make a difference by informing people of what's going on and getting people involved. And so, hopefully, you tell others to join us. You can click on the link on the comments link and let me know what you think or ask a question, or you can call me at 956-572-8172, and we'll hear what you have to say on whatever the topic is that we're discussing here. It's an open forum for the community and to interact. Um, I believe in transparency and accountability, and that's what we push for in local government and also state and federal government, of course. But locally, I think this is what primarily we want to focus on. Um, BISD is a big concern of me for me lately, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But right now, I want to touch on the subject of droughts. Droughts are common. Our reservoirs are low, like at 25% capacity, so they're very low, and we need more rain. But in the meantime, you can help by being good stewards and managing your water supply. Um, if you're going to water your lawn, water it in the evening where the water doesn't evaporate, and limit the amount of water you use for now till we get more rain, because we do need water, and hopefully we get some more rain for our environment and also to fill up those reservoirs. But also, it's because of the droughts and the time of year, it's flea and tick season. There's a lot of infestation. It's common. So don't feel like it's unusual, because it's not. It's just maybe you notice it this year and you didn't notice it before, but it's very common. So I encourage you to, if you have a yard, to go to Home Depot and buy something you can spray your yard with. Uh, to manage your yard, especially if you have your fleece. I mean, if you have dogs, I buy some solution there that costs I think like $12, and I spray my yard every month because I do have dogs, and so I encourage you to do that. Get educated and take the preventive steps to keep a healthy environment for your pet if you have pets. But regardless, it is flea and tick season, and even if you don't have pets, you will have fleas in your yard. And you may say, why? Because I don't have pets. But you have raccoons that pass through there. You have possums. You have other mice. You have other pets that go through your yard, and they drop the fleas, and they have their eggs, and they bury in the dirt there, and they hatch, and then they multiply and multiply and multiply. So then it can get to be very serious if you don't try to manage it by spraying your yard there. So keep that in mind. Also, a couple of years ago, one of my bankers was shocked that her husky died all of a sudden. He said he was very healthy. I left him in the backyard and they were playing. And I said, yeah, with this heat, what happens is the dogs can overexert themselves playing, believe it or not. And when they overexert themselves in this heat, they can easily have a heart attack. They're playing, all of a sudden, boom, they drop dead. So it's important that you understand that you got to keep an eye on your pets. Don't leave them alone outside. And if you have to leave them alone during this heat, be sure they got plenty of water and plenty of shade for them to prevent having a heat stroke. So, keep your pets cool. Don't, I don't know if you notice sometimes you're driving around at midday and you see some person walking a dog. And man, I get so angry, but I know that they're not knowingly doing this, that knowing that if they knew that it hurts the dog to walk on the pavement could be 120 degrees, even though it's only 100 degrees or 90 degrees. It could be 100 degrees because it is the pavement, it absorbs the heat, and your pet's paws get raw and it's burning them. So, don't walk your pet at midday. Walk them early in the morning before, it gets hot, or late in the evening. Don't do it during the day there when the heat and the pavement is real hot there, especially the asphalt. So keep that in mind and protect your pets from getting hurt there by walking on the hot cement. There's I wish I could show you a video I saw yesterday. Animal cruelty. I don't know if it's our culture here or just pure evil. People just have little regard for animals, whether it's wildlife or domesticated pets or birds or ducks. I have an issue right now here with two of my neighbors. I filed a complaint against them, and they're police officers. I plan to post the videos if the complaint's not taken serious. Uh, the cruelty that I see towards the ducks when they live on the resaca is uncalled for and it's unconscionable. If they don't like living in resaca, they don't like ducks. They should move. In my opinion, it doesn't give them the right to be cruel towards animals. Yesterday, I saw a video of this idiot at the Valiant Country Club. He ran over two ducks deliberately. He was caught on video. It was a red truck. I don't know if you've seen it posted on Facebook. It broke my heart because, these are animals that all they want to do is share the environment with us, the environment that we've overtaken, okay? And, you see when the rain is, it rained a few inches here, and man, the ducks were happy along the curb swimming, in the water there. And it's a joy to see them. uh, they're for our enjoyment, and for you, for people like that person that just deliberately ran over them, it's uncalled for. There's nothing to gain, and there's no reason or rhyme for it, and it just shows how evil a person's heart can be. So animal cruelty should be reported. You see something like that, get their license plates, and if you can, film it, so we can hopefully do something about it. Um, I want to go on to BISD. You have members on, I know these people are nice people, and I don't understand their reasoning, and maybe they can explain it to why uh, they are fighting so hard against a forensic audit. If you're in government service, this is an honor and a privilege, but you're a steward there. You're there to protect the public, to inform the public, to represent your constituency, to do what is in the best interest in the overall instance for the common good. You're not there for yourself. So I don't understand why four board members on the BISD board would oppose a forensic audit. It's maybe long overdue. And if you got nothing to hide, support it, welcome it. And then maybe you can learn on where we failed and how to improve on it. Burying your head in the sand, not wanting to know, it's one of the things. You're either ignorant, which I know they're not, or you have something to hide, which I hope you don't. I just think maybe you may be misguided. Why? Maybe administration is trying to uh, doesn't want the audit and is influencing the board members. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not there. I plan to run for position 7. The election's in November, and if I were there right now, I'd support the forensic audit. And if they haven't done by the time I get there, I will support it then. And if there is gato encerrado, if there's something to hide, then there's accountability time is coming, because we're here to serve in the public's trust that has been placed upon us as elected officials. So, given the opportunity, um, I will support a forensic audit, and I will make sure that everything we do is transparent. As far as I'm concerned, I will push for full transparency and full accountability, and I push for overseeing administration more than what is being done right now. You see, administration is there to carry out the policies of the board. It's not there to run itself and do whatever they please. They got to follow the law to begin with, make sure everything is legal, and they got to follow the policies and the standards set out for them to follow. And they work for the board, and the board has a fiduciary responsibility. So, as given the opportunity as a board member, I think I will be bringing a lot to the table. I was mayor twice. I took the city from a deficit. You have no idea what it's like. Imagine a city, a whole city that's got projected deficit of 2 million, no reserves, which means that if you don't take corrective action, you're going to have to file bankruptcy because nothing's going to save you. So you have to provide the leadership to get out of the hole. And we did, thanks to Butch Barbosa and Pete Benavides, who supported my initiatives, which were controversial at the time, but were proven right over time. We balanced the budget, built up our reserves, and that led us to be able to sell bonds, do capital improvements. We had no street sweepers. We brought Continental Airlines. We didn't have passenger service. We couldn't pave streets. We did a lot of things by doing what's right. So I bring that. I will be bringing that to the table. That I served as mayor. I know how to work with budgets. I know how to cut expenses. I know what to look for. Okay, and how to cut out waste. I know what to look for, and also how to hold people accountable. There was one person, one family, but the person worked for the city, who was a big supporter of mine. And when I got in there, it was brought to my attention there was maybe some wrongdoing, suspected wrongdoing. And that was hard for me because it was a supporter of mine, but I couldn't ignore it. So I asked the city manager to move him from that department and put them in another department where they couldn't do any harm, and to put them at a test. And they failed the test. And before you knew it, police raided their house, arrested them, and because what they were doing was wrong. So I don't care if it's a friend, I don't care if it's a supporter. You need to do what's right. And if you're not, you need to be held accountable, like all of us do. So, I know I bring that to the table. I know to be objective, and also to understand that, yeah, sometimes you have to make the tough decisions, and sometimes they hurt. But doing what's right is very important, and being transparent. I served on the PUB board 3 times. So again, I work with budgets. I work with people. When Tenasca came to me, I said no, because I knew it was not a good deal. So I was able to say I wasn't influenced by the special interests that they take you out to eat here and there, and tried to influence you. I said no, it didn't. It was just it wasn't the right fit for PUB, and I was proven right, because after I left, Mayor Martinez opened the door, and sure enough, they came, and we lost a lot of money thanks to him. And he was never held accountable. Nobody was, really. But I'm not for that. If they do something wrong, they have to pay the price. So, if given the opportunity to serve you on the BISD board, position 7, I will bring transparency and accountability, and I'll always have the courage to do what's right for the common good. It's important that we restore trust in our school system, and I think it's lacking right now. I think there's a lot of compadrismo. I think these schools, the schools, they're semi-autonomous. They're run by the principal, but they need oversight. They need oversight too. And if they're doing something wrong, they need to be held accountable. But we need to let them know also when they're doing good. We need to support them. We need to watch their back. We need to give them the tools, the resources needed to make sure that our kids are getting the best education. And we need to challenge them to meet those standards that will produce the good product. That means our children are getting the right education. So I think the opposing the forensic audit by the 4 board members on the school board, there's something wrong there. Hopefully they'll change their mind, and they'll welcome it, and hopefully we can look forward to a report that would outline where our shortfalls are, and we can, what the plan would be to take corrective action and to improve the system. I know I've heard that TEA identified some fiduciary failures, And if that's true, you know, I know it's hard. I know it's not easy, but unless you had direct involvement, that means you had direct wrongdoing. If you, a board member, if you didn't have no involvement in the fiduciary failures, then you got nothing to hide. Let the chips fall where they may. You you know, you do your job by allowing the forensic audit and let the chips fall where they need to fall. If anybody needs to be held accountable, then the decision is made and what should be done. I'm not going to get ahead of you and tell you you should do this, do that. No, it should be case by case and what happened, how serious, or whatever. But if you have to let people go, then you let them go. You can't keep people there. They're hurting the system because we work for the taxpayer, and we can't ignore that. It's not your position. It's, it's, it's a transitory thing. We're there for a little while, and let's do the best we can so we can leave a good legacy that, hey, we left it better than when we came in. And we're not there to go along just to get along. We're there to do a job, and we're there to work together for the betterment of the system. And that should be our mission. There should be no scapegoats um, trying to blame others for somebody else's failures. You know, so I believe that we have an exciting time ahead of us uh, with the BISD election. The more I get involved, the more I get informed on this, the more I'm leaning and looking forward to the challenge of uh, asking for your vote, asking for your trust. And I know they're going to attack me. I know they always do. But I got nothing to fear. I can look anybody in the eye. I can hold my head up high. Politics is dirty. And when I was there as mayor, they tried their best to get rid of me. They even tried to frame me. And I got through it. But I'm strong. And I'm not afraid of the attacks. I don't need this. I don't need a job. You know, many people seek office because they need a job, or they seek office because they want to feel important. They like the title, they like the perks, they like, you know, being catered to, whatever. I'm not about that. Never have been. Uh, I'm about solving problems. As mayor, I would always look around every day. I look for problems to solve. I don't look for problems to come to me and react to them. I look for problems that I know have solutions, and they all do. We just have to work on it and push to get it solved. So I'm a very pragmatic person. So, given the opportunity at the PISD level, I will take that in there. And people will be able to come to me because my door as mayor was always open. I had a open door policy 24/7. You could call me 24/7. My phone was public, and I would return calls. Maybe sometimes I would forget somebody to return a call, but it happens. I'm human, you know. But I would return calls, and people would come to my house on a Sunday or whatever. But you know, it's important that we try to make it better than what it was when we go in there. I called Eddie Garcia, the tax collector's chief of staff. I went to the appraisal district on valuation, and this is one of many. I could give you many stories. This is one of many. Not told this person, look, this is unconscionable. Uh, there's this property that was valued over $400,000, like 450,000. We'll round it off. 450,000. I think it was 443,000 something. Let's round it off to 450. And 2 years ago, I fought it, and I lowered it to 150,000. I went before the ARB, and the appraisal district fought me hard, but reasoning prevailed, and the justice prevailed, and the valuation was lowered to 150. The next year, because they can do this every year, the next year it went back up to 450, and they paid taxes on it. So this year, uh, they gave me the call, and I'm not charging them for it. Sometimes I get clients that pay me because they want me to do the appraisal or whatever. But in this instance, they asked me for help, and I said, "Yeah, I help you," and I'm sure that we will prevail. But property owners shouldn't have to go through that every year. And as I explained to Eddie Garcia's associate, nothing has changed. The house is a shell, pure shell. It's got no sheetrock, no electrical wire, no plumbing, just the shell. The owner, my heart breaks. The owner has cancer, and they have kept that house because it has sentimental value. Their kids grew up there. It just has sentimental value, so they won't let go of the house. I told them the easiest thing would be to demolish it. It's only a shell, and I got it down to 150. It's back up to 450. So I told at the appraisal district level, and now after that, which they wouldn't listen when I went to them, and I'm going to go before the ARB. Um, I explained to Eddie Garcia's associate, nothing has changed. The house is still a shell. It was eaten by termites, and you can see the studs inside the house with termite where the termites got to it. It's not worth 450,000. Nothing has changed. How can they get, in good conscience, get away with that? They can, and they do, because nobody pushes back. Given the opportunity on the BASD board, I'm going to push for the board to appoint me to the board that oversees the chief appraiser. And I'm going to push to have him fired. And I hope you will join me by giving me your vote, because it's unconscionable what he does to this family here. And not only him, a lot of people. Their valuations are not sustainable. They've gone up so high. The property taxes, it affects everybody, especially when you take into account that we were designated as a poor city in the nation when I was mayor, year after year. The demographics here doesn't lend itself for these high valuations. I will also push for no new tax, which means that we'll lower the tax rate by equal, or maybe not as equal, but I will push for equal of what the new valuation generates in taxes for BISD. So the excess that is generating from the year before will allow us to lower the tax rate. But to do that, we have to have spending under control, because what these public entities do is so impersonal to them. They don't think about how it affects the families and the property owners, the renters, and everybody. It affects everybody. What these public entities do, all they see is that, hey, we got several more million coming in because of the property valuations going up. And they look at, well, we can buy new cars, we can do this, we can do that. Instead of managing the money in a responsible way, they're looking for ways to spend it before they even get it, just based on the tax rate generating more money because of the higher property valuations. I will hopefully be able to influence our board, given the opportunity with your vote, that we adopt the new tax policy, and set the example for the other entities to do it. If we can do it, if we can prove we can do it, others can do it, and we can live within our means. Because it seems like it's a never-ending hole. We just keep pouring more money, more money, more money, but it's more waste, a lot more waste too. And I think if we cut out the waste, we can manage our budgets a little better. The other thing I want to do, given the opportunity with your vote, is I'm going to set the example that uh, no campaign signs. I I've never liked it. I see the landscape of our city, beautiful city. It's littered with campaign signs, and the ordinances are not enforced. I think you have 90 days, maybe I don't remember now, 60 days to remove the signs. A lot of them don't remove the signs. They're there as a reminder of an election. Some are there even to the next election. So, you know, I'm going to push uh, for BISD not to allow campaign signs. We can rely on other means to get the message out and meet people uh, and let them know what we're all about and ask for their vote. So with that, I hope I can set the standard that we can have a cleaner city by discontinuing with the signs. Um, there's so much that I'm excited about getting involved with the teachers, the students, the staff, the board members to work together to make it better for not only our children but for our community, that we can be proud of, that our education system is equal to any other education system, whether it's charter school, private school, St. Joe, or whatever. Um, and we should shoot for that. We're not going to get there overnight, but we should shoot for that to improve to where our children are graduating and they know how to read and write. They know critical thinking. They know common sense. You know, uh, most kids, nowadays they rely so much on the computers and the calculators and everything else that they lose the basics, and some kids can't even read, and that's pretty sad because we spend so much money per child, and we need to make that investment investment pay. We need a better return than what we have now. Um, and I think one of the things is working with the Texas Southmost College. I would like, I talked to others about this a long time ago. Uh, I would like to see BISD work hand in hand with Texas Southmost College to where we are um, pushing or working with those students that are not going to go for a 4-year degree for formal education or are high risk dropouts. I don't want to see that. I want to give them a taste of success, what it will be like by opening their minds to the idea of maybe, okay, you want to be a mechanic, you want to be a welder, you want to do this, you want to do that. Learn a little bit about the trades of what it's like to be a welder or a nurse or whatever, and what it pays, and because the kids right away they want to know, well, how much to pay, So uh, I think we can have more communication between uh, the junior college and BISD to where we can maybe light a fire under the children to go and pursue a 4-year degree or a trade. There's nothing wrong with that. So with that, I want to close, and I want to close again in remembrance of Memorial Day. Has a special meaning from the founding revolution to the present, so many people have died, and I think many of us don't value that, and they have lost respect for our flag. They have lost respect for young people in the military, and they even have lost respect for themselves. Uh, they would do nothing to defend their country. They would do nothing to defend what liberty is all about. Uh, I would never take a knee. I would never burn my flag, and I would never let nobody else do it. Uh, because this is who we are, and this is what many have died for, and we can't let them down. We cannot let them down. We need to keep their memory alive and be grateful for their service and their ultimate sacrifice of giving their life. I'm sure um, it was not easy to say, hey, I'm going to sign up and I'm ready to die for this country. Uh, Not many people will do that. Not everybody will do that. We need to be very grateful for those who do. And we need to respect them. We need to honor them. We need to pray for them. And we need to value their service and be patriots. Be patriots. Be in unity. Patriots. And stand with them. Stand with them and make sure that they know we support them. Right now, what's going on in Iran, uh, I know it's not easy. I hear people complain here about the gasoline, but can you imagine those that are in service over there in that area? What must be going through their minds? They don't know if there's going to, be an escalation or not. But they signed up for that, and they're willing to do that. Would you do it? So don't complain about the gasoline being a little higher. It's a small price to pay compared to what they're willing to pay. Keep that in mind. What you're being asked to pay at the pump is a what is it, $2 or $3 more, $5 more per tank or whatever. It's a small price to pay compared to what they are willing to pay for you and me. And we should never forget that. Pray for them. Pray that this war will be over, that we'll be victorious, uh, and that they're kept out of harm's way. And if there is a war escalated, that God be with them. And we thank the fallen today. With that, we close. Thank you. Good night.